Okay, next question.
Thank you for connecting with us. I would like to ask, does the current climate model include the in the sun cycle? And if so, how? If you could elaborate a little bit on this further.
Could someone repeat the question, Simona?
I can repeat it. Are the variations in the sun's radiation included in the current climate model we are using in making these predictions? And if so, how?
So the changes in solar output have always made a difference to the Earth's climate for thousands of years. My understanding is that we have been in a solar minimum, and there are some predictions that the solar minimum will continue for about another 5 years. And then we will go to a period where there'll be more solar activity. What we're seeing in the world's weather now and the climate is purely anthropogenic. I mean, it's the extent of the temperature anomalies and the melting of glaciers in the Arctic and Antarctic and the heating of the world's oceans is related to greenhouse gases. So my understanding is that we are being given a little bit of extra time by the sun for the next few years, and then we're going back into a solar maximum output by the next 5 years. But I don't know whether the main models that are used that are then used by the IPCC are involving solar radiation as well or not, solar output as well. I don't know, but if I'd be interested if your question comes from a point of well, what's your interest in solar output? It's not the decisive factor at the moment in what we're experiencing in terms of our current climate.
I remember when I was reading some of the former reports of IPCC panel, I formed a understanding that it's pretty much not clear if any data and any consistent model on variations in solar activity are being included in the current climate model. And since let's say the big decrease in solar activity could completely change the game for this anthropogenic climate change period we are currently navigating through.
Okay. So, no, but I recommend anyone who is doubtful about climate science, you can look into it for yourselves. Anybody now can Google solar minimum, solar maximum as well. I suppose I could stop and do it now, but to be a denier of climate science, just type in climate change and hit news. Look at China underwater, look at America underwater, look at what's just happened to the French agricultural fruit crops. Just open your eyes. I think at the moment, my emotions in me, I'm astounded that anyone is doubting what's happening in the world right now. But there are lots of theories about why people look for climate ways to deny what's happening already around the world, or to say that it's not anthropogenic, man-made. But I wish it was all some strange conspiracy or some. But the governments agreed in 1987, based on science, that climate change is caused by humans and it's a problem. And it was the oil industry for 10 years that tried to stop action on that. So the idea that there's any doubt, that was just funded by people who didn't want to see change. I suppose one thing to say as well is that I think we're in a solar minimum at the moment, and I don't normally talk to anyone who's skeptical of what's happening or that we're causing it, but yeah, we could look into the solar minimum. I think it's going to continue for another few years. So in terms of solar cycles, it will then get worse. So even if you don't believe in anthropogenic climate change, we're already seeing disruption to agriculture and shocking amounts of ice loss, which through positive feedback loops will further heat the planet. So the planet's already heating itself because of the loss of ice cover in the Arctic.
Jem, I think he thinks you misunderstood his question. He's not a skeptic.
Okay.
So just clarify, and then we will move on to the next question.
I pretty much am willing to put this on the lost in translation stage, since we are having a lot of medias between us. Pretty much I'm really a true believer of anthropogenic climate change, and definitely not a denier. My question was simply theoretical, pretty much looking into the theoretical models and what do they say about the changes in the sun activity in terms and in the context of the currently happening anthropogenic climate change. Only that.
Okay, thank you. So one thing on that then, one of the real simple and worrying things about climates is that prior to humans affecting the climate, the famous graphs which show global temperature and carbon dioxide sort of moving in lockstep like this over many tens of thousands of years, it shows that actually temperature went up. The world warmed, global ambient temperatures, more often than not, prior to carbon dioxide levels going up. Now, climate skeptics used to say, aha, so carbon dioxide is not the driving factor here. But what it actually shows is that once the world starts warming, more carbon dioxide is released from the biosphere into the atmosphere and the oceans. So already in that data, it shows that we may have we may see the planet Earth itself releasing carbon dioxide as the world gets warmer, and that can be from forest fires, it can be from melting permafrosts, it can be from drying soils and all sorts.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask, is there any sense to continue with our professional careers living in the cities, or should we just move to the country to form a community and grow our own vegetables, and share between ourselves? Or should we,